The bar was too loud for thinking, which was exactly why Emma had agreed to come. Music thumped through the floor, vibrating up through her boots and into her legs. Laughter spilled from every table, sharp and careless, the kind that belonged to people who wanted the night to erase the week before it. Glasses clinked. Someone shouted the wrong lyrics. The air was warm, thick with perfume, alcohol, and the faint smell of citrus from spilled drinks. Girls' night, that was the excuse. A necessary ritual, her friends called it, a way to reset. Emma leaned back in the booth, her shoulders loosening as she took another sip of her drink. She wasn't drunk, not even close, but she welcomed the soft blur settling behind her eyes. This week had been long in a way that sleep didn't fix. Too many half-conversations, too many dates that felt like auditions, too many men who talked at her instead of to her. She wasn't bitter, just tired. K.H. Lowe was already halfway through a dramatic story, hands moving, voice rising and falling as Maya laughed too hard at every punchline. They were glowing, alive, feeding off the noise and attention like it was oxygen. Emma smiled, watching them, content to be slightly on the outside. She liked observing, noticing things, the way people leaned toward who they wanted, the way laughter changed when it was real versus polite. Her phone buzzed once on the table. She didn't check it. To surviving another awful week, K.H. Lowe announced suddenly, lifting her glass. To bad decisions, Maya added. They clinked glasses. Emma drank, the burn settling warm in her chest. Okay, K.H. Lowe said, eyes narrowing with mischief. Truth or dare? Emma groaned immediately. No. You always say no, Maya teased, and then you do it anyway. I'm serious, Emma said. I've reached my limit on character development. K.H. Lowe leaned closer, lowering her voice like she was about to reveal a secret. Dare. Emma hesitated. She really did. She glanced around the bar, taking in the crowd, the harmless chaos of it all. Nothing felt dangerous. Nothing ever did at first. Fine, she sighed. Dare. K.H. Lowe's grin widened slowly. I dare you to kiss the most serious man in this bar. Emma blinked. That's subjective. No, Maya said, already scanning the room. It's not. They both turned their heads at the same time. Emma followed their gaze. He stood alone at the bar. Not leaning, not laughing, not scrolling through his phone, just standing there, still and composed, like the noise couldn't reach him. His posture was straight without being rigid. His shoulders were broad in a way that didn't need attention. He wore dark clothes that blended into the background but somehow made him stand out more. He wasn't handsome in a loud way. He was contained. The kind of man who looked like he knew exactly where he was at all times. The kind who didn't get pulled into games because he didn't play them. Emma felt something tighten low in her chest. That guy, she asked, trying to sound amused. Yes, K.H. Lowe said instantly. That guy. He looks like he might throw me out himself, Emma muttered. Maya laughed. That's the point. Emma watched him for another moment. He hadn't looked their way. He hadn't reacted to anything around him. He looked untouched by the bar, by the night, by everyone else pretending not to care. She took a breath. It's just a kiss, she told herself. A stupid dare, a story for later. She slid out of the booth before she could change her mind. The walk to the bar felt longer than it should have. Not because she was nervous, but because the closer she got, the more aware she became of him. His presence seemed to bend the space around him, like people unconsciously gave him room. Up close, he was taller than she expected. She had to tilt her chin slightly to meet his eyes. They were unreadable. Not cold, not warm, just focused. Emma didn't give herself time to overthink. She leaned in and kissed him. It was brief, light, barely 3 seconds. And everything shifted. The noise behind her dulled, like someone had turned the volume down. The air felt heavier, tighter. Her lips had barely left his before she sensed it, that invisible line snapping into place. She pulled back, already smiling, already preparing to laugh it off. But he didn't move. He didn't smile. He didn't step back. He didn't react the way men usually did to something unexpected. He just looked at her. Something in his gaze sharpened, not with anger, not with amusement, but with attention. Like he was assessing damage he hadn't anticipated. For the first time that night, Emma felt uncertain. "Sorry," she said lightly. "Dare." She waited for him to laugh, to scoff, to dismiss her. He didn't. He held her gaze for another heartbeat, then another. The bar noise crept back in around them, but the moment stayed suspended, fragile and strange. Emma swallowed, suddenly aware of her pulse. "You okay?" she asked, her voice steadier than she felt. He studied her for a final second, then stepped back, giving her space as if he'd never claimed it at all. "Be careful," he said calmly. That was it. No judgment, no invitation, no dismissal. Emma nodded, unsure why her chest felt tight, then turned and walked back to her friends, laughter ready on her lips like armor. Behind her, the man remained at the bar, still and unreadable. And for reasons she couldn't explain, Emma knew the dare hadn't ended when the kiss did. The man did not move after she walked away. He stayed where he was, hands resting lightly on the bar. Back straight, presence solid. The noise returned slowly. Music, laughter, glasses, voices. But something inside him stayed still. He had not come to the bar to be noticed. He did not come to be entertained. He came because it was neutral ground. A place where nothing followed him. Or so he believed. He replayed the moment without trying. The weight of it pressed into his awareness. The softness of her lips. The confidence that did not ask permission. The lack of fear. That was the part that stayed with him. Most people looked at him and adjusted. Their posture, their tone, their distance. They sensed something and reacted. She did not. She kissed him like the world was simple. Like he was only a man standing in a bar. Not a calculation. Not a risk. He turned his head slightly, watching her return to her table. The way she laughed. The way she covered her reaction with ease. The way she pretended it meant nothing. He knew better. He noticed things for a living. Shifts in behavior. Changes in breath. Choices made without thinking. Her kiss was not careless. It was curious. That made it dangerous. Someone down the bar spoke to him. A question about a drink. About space. About nothing. He answered calmly. Politely. Without turning. His attention stayed with her. He watched the way she leaned back into the booth. The way her shoulders relaxed after a minute. The way her eyes flicked once toward the bar. Just once. Checking. He did not stare. He did not follow. He did not approach. Control mattered. It always had. But something about her presence lingered. Like a disturbance in still water. Not loud. Not violent. Just impossible to ignore. He felt it in the way his body stayed alert. In the way his mind adjusted paths. Calculating outcomes he did not usually entertain. She was not a complication yet. But she had the potential to become one. That alone should have ended it. He finished his drink. Placed cash on the bar. More than necessary. As he turned to leave, he passed close enough to her table. Not touching. Not slowing. Her laughter softened for half a second. As if she sensed him. Even without looking. His jaw tightened. Outside the air was colder. Cleaner. It grounded him. A black car waited where it always did. Engine quiet. Presence known. The driver did not ask questions. He never did. He slid into the back seat. Eyes forward. Mind controlled. Yet even there. With distance. With barriers. With routine. The moment replayed again. Not the kiss itself. But what followed. Her question. Are you okay? No fear. No apology that begged forgiveness. Just awareness. He closed his eyes briefly. People did not usually ask him that. The car pulled away, lights passing steadily, the city folding back into familiar patterns. This was supposed to be nothing. A bar. A dare. A stranger. But the silence she left behind felt different. Heavier. Unfinished. And for the first time in a very long time, the man who never reacted, who never followed, who never crossed lines, found himself wondering what would happen if he did. Emma woke with the feeling that something had already happened. Not in the dramatic sense. Not danger. Just a quiet shift. The ceiling of her apartment looked the same. The light through the curtains was ordinary. Her phone rested where she left it. Nothing obvious had changed. Yet her chest felt tight. Like her body was waiting for a sound that had not come yet. She lay still, letting the night replay without asking it to. The bar. The noise. The dare. And then him. The kiss had been brief. So brief it should have faded. But it had not. It sat in her mind like a paused breath. It was not the kiss itself. It was what followed. The silence. The way he looked at her. Not pleased. Not offended. Just aware. Emma rolled onto her side, pressing her cheek into the pillow. She told herself it had meant nothing. A moment made strange by alcohol and atmosphere. But that explanation felt thin. At work later that morning, she caught herself staring at her screen. Emails unanswered. Coffee gone cold. KH Lowe noticed first. She always did. "You're quiet. Too quiet." Emma smiled, pretended to shrug it off. Maya leaned over the divider, eyes bright with curiosity. She found him. Emma froze. Her fingers paused above the keyboard. Found who? The man from the bar. Emma turned slowly, trying not to look like her pulse had just jumped. Maya held up her phone. A grainy image on the screen. Him again. This time in daylight. Wearing a suit. Standing beside a black car. 2 other men nearby. Watchful. Still. Emma frowned. That looks like security. KH Lowe leaned. That looks like money. Emma shook her head. I kissed a stranger. That is all. Maya smiled. No. You kissed a question. Emma turned back to her screen, forcing focus, forcing calm. But something had already slipped loose. 30 minutes later, her phone vibrated on the desk. Unknown number. She stared at it, her stomach tightening. Not fear. Anticipation. KH Lowe noticed. Who is that? Emma did not answer. Her thumb hovered. She had rules. She did not text strangers. She did not chase moments. The phone vibrated again. Emma swallowed. Then typed. Yes. The reply came after a pause. Long enough to feel intentional. Dominic. Her breath caught. Just slightly. She stared at the name. Simple. Grounded. Real. How did you get my number? This time the pause was longer. I asked. If that was inappropriate, tell me, and I will not contact you again. Emma leaned back in her chair, surprised by the steadiness of her own breath. That was not what she expected. Why are you texting me? The answer came quickly. Because I did not like the idea of never seeing you again. The office noise faded. Emails became shapes. Sounds blurred. Emma typed slowly. What do you want? One dinner. No pressure. If you walk away, after that I will respect it. Emma closed her eyes. Counted one breath. Then another. KH Lowe watched her carefully. Eyes wide. Say yes for the plot. Emma opened her eyes. Smiled faintly. Where? The reply came almost immediately. Tomorrow. 7. Quiet place. Emma hesitated, then typed, "Okay." The phone went still. Emma set it down, heart beating harder now. Not reckless, not afraid, just aware. Whatever had started with that dare was no longer pretending to be harmless. The restaurant was quiet in a way that felt intentional. Not empty, not awkward, just controlled. Emma noticed it immediately. The low voices, the steady pace, the absence of chaos. This was not a place people wandered into. This was a place they chose. She adjusted her coat as the host led her through the room. Every step made her more aware of herself. Not nervous, aware. Then she saw him. Dominic stood when he noticed her. Not rushed, not stiff, just present. In the softer light, he looked different. Less distant, more solid. Like the bar had been a test run, and this was the real version. Emma felt her breath chain. Just slightly. "You came," he said. She nodded. "I said I would." That earned her a look she could not name. Not approval. Not relief. Something quieter. He pulled out her chair. Waited until she sat. Then took his seat across from her. Close enough to feel intentional. Far enough to feel respectful. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Emma broke first. "This place is nice." He nodded. "Quiet. You like quiet?" She asked. "I like hearing what matters." He replied. The words landed heavier than she expected. Menus arrived. Emma barely looked at hers. She ordered water. He did the same. "You do not drink?" she asked. "Not when I want to stay aware." He said. "Aware of what?" "Everything. And everyone." Emma leaned back slightly, studying him. "People looked at you when you walked in." "They know me," he said calmly. That was not an answer. But it was not a lie either. "And the men outside?" she asked carefully. His eyes flicked toward the window, then back to her. "They make sure nothing interrupts my evening." Emma felt something tighten. "Because of you. Because of control." He replied. She swallowed. Then asked the question she had been circling since the bar. "What do you do?" He paused, long enough to show he was choosing his words. "I run businesses." "That is vague," Emma said. He nodded once. "Yes. I do not like vague." She added. "Then ask what you're really asking." He said. Emma felt the shift. The air tightening again. Like it had at the bar. "Are you dangerous?" she asked. His expression did not change, but his gaze sharpened. "I can be," he said. The honesty startled her. "But not with you," he added. That was the moment. Not the words, but the way he said them. Like a boundary he had already decided to keep. The rest of dinner passed differently. Conversation deepened. Not small talk. Real questions. He asked about her work, her frustrations, what she valued. He listened. Fully. Without interruption. Emma realized she felt safe being seen. Outside later. The night air was cool. Grounding. Dominic stopped under a street light. Not too close. "May I kiss you?" he asked. This time there was no dare. No noise. No audience. Emma nodded. He moved slowly, giving her time. His hand lifting but stopping just short. "Yes," she whispered. The kiss was nothing like the first. Slower. Deeper. Intentional. When he pulled back, his hand lingered for a second longer. "I want to see you again," he said. Emma met his gaze. Her pulse steady. Her choice clear. Soon, she replied. His phone buzzed in his pocket. Once. Twice. He ignored it. That told her more than anything else. As they parted, Emma felt it clearly now. This was no longer curiosity. This was a door opening. And neither of them was pretending. It was accidental. Emma felt the change before she understood it. Not in him. In herself. It showed up in small moments. In the way she checked her phone without thinking. In the way silence no longer felt empty. Just paused. Dominic did not text often. That was the first thing she noticed. One message in the morning. One at night. Sometimes nothing at all. But when he did, it felt deliberate. Did you eat? Are you tired? Did today take more than it gave? No compliments. No charm. No pressure. Attention without demand. That unsettled her more than flirtation ever had. At work, K.H. Lowe watched her carefully. The way friends do when something has shifted. You are not distracted. K.H. Lowe said. You are focused somewhere else. Emma smiled faintly. That felt accurate. Maya leaned over. He is not love-bombing you. She observed. Which is rude, honestly. Emma laughed. Because it was true. Dominic did not flood her world. He stepped into it carefully. Like he was aware of weight. Their next meeting was not planned in advance. It happened because she texted him first. Are you free? Yes. Where? Her place. Without thinking. The pause before his reply was longer than usual. Only if you are sure. He wrote. Emma stared at the screen. Then typed. I am. He arrived on time. Not early. Not late. When she opened the door, he stood there calm. Hands visible. Posture relaxed. He did not step inside until she stepped back. That mattered. Emma watched him take in her apartment. Not judging. Not evaluating. Just observing. This is you. He said. It was not a compliment. It was recognition. They sat on opposite ends of the couch at first. Distance that felt respectful. Not hesitant. She noticed his eyes tracked sound. The hallway. The window. The street. You are always alert. She said. Yes. He replied. Why? Because I am responsible for outcomes. That answer settled in her chest. Heavy. Honest. Emma asked the question she had been holding back. What kind of life do you live? He did not dodge it. But he did not rush it either. One with consequences. He said. That was not enough. She waited. Some of my work exists in places that are not clean. He continued. I do not enjoy it. I do not glorify it. But I do not pretend it does not exist. Emma felt the weight of that truth. Not fear. Clarity. Are you telling me this to warn me? She asked. Yes. And to give you a choice. She met his gaze. What choice? To step away. Nah. Without explanation. Without apology. Emma laughed softly. More breath than sound. You keep offering me exits. She said. Because I do not trap people. He replied. That sentence stayed with her. She shifted closer. Just enough for their shoulders to brush. Dominic went still. Then relaxed. I am not scared. Emma said quietly. You should be cautious. He replied. Cautious is not afraid. He nodded, accepting the correction. There was a knock at the door. Not loud. Not urgent. Dominic stood immediately. Body shifting without panic. Stay here. He said. Emma watched him through the doorway. Saw him speak quietly to a man outside. saw the man nod and leave. When Dominic returned, his expression was unchanged. But the air felt different. People notice when I deviate. He said. Deviate from what? From routine. From isolation. Emma swallowed. From being alone. He met her eyes. Yes. Silence stretched. Thick but calm. Emma reached for his hand. Not to reassure him. To ground herself. I am not asking for everything. She said. Good. He replied. Neither am I. Then what are you asking? Time. Honesty. And the right to choose you. Slowly. Emma felt the truth of it settle. This was no longer a mystery. It was a negotiation. And for the first time, she understood. The danger was not who he was. It was how carefully he was willing to chain. Emma noticed the watching before she noticed the watchers. A feeling first. Pressure in the air. A sense of being accounted for. It happened in places that should have felt ordinary. The coffee shop near her office. The crosswalk she used every morning. The lobby of her building. Nothing obvious. No staring. No confrontation. Just presence. Dominic did not chain. That was the unsettling part. His messages stayed the same. Measured. Grounded. Never rushed. Did you get home? Did today behave? She answered honestly. Yes. No. Sometimes. She did not tell him about the feeling yet. Not because she was hiding it. Because she wanted to be sure. The confirmation came 3 days later. Emma stepped out of work later than usual. The sky already dark. The street quieter than normal. As she waited for the light to chain, a black car rolled to a stop across the intersection. It did not honk. Did not creep closer. It simply waited. Emma told herself she was imagining things. Until she noticed the driver did not look at his phone. Did not look bored. He watched the street. The light changed. Emma crossed. The car did not move. Her phone buzzed. Are you outside? Dominic asked. Her pulse jumped. Yes. She typed. I am a block away. Do not panic. He replied. She stopped walking. Heart beating faster now. A minute later he was there. Stepping out of the same black car. Expression calm. Eyes sharp. You are early. She said automatically. You are not alone. He replied. That was the moment the truth shifted shape. They walked side by side. Dominic positioning himself closer to the street. Not touching. Just present. Are they following me? Emma asked quietly. They are aware of you. He corrected. That felt worse. Why? She asked. Because you are near me. He said. Emma stopped walking, turning to face him. You said you would not bring danger to my door. His gaze held hers. Steady. Serious. I said I would not let it touch you. There was a difference. She could hear it now. You should have told me. She said. Yes. He agreed. No defense. No excuse. I underestimated how quickly they would notice the chain. He added. What chain? You. He said. Emma swallowed. Anger and something else twisting together. So I am a signal. No. He said firmly. You are not bait. You are not leverage. Then what am I? Dominic did not answer immediately. He scanned the street. The cars. The people. Then he looked back at her. You are a deviation. He said. That word landed hard. Emma crossed her arms, trying to steady herself. I do not want to be watched. Neither do I. He replied. Then why does this feel like the beginning of something worse? Because it is the beginning of truth, he said. They reached her building. Dominic stopped at the entrance, not stepping closer. I will increase distance, he said. Less visibility. Fewer overlaps. Emma stared at him. You are adjusting your life because of me. Yes. That scared her more than the car ever could. You do not get to do that without asking, she said. Dominic nodded, accepting it. Then ask me not to. Emma opened her mouth, then closed it. She did not want him to disappear. She did not want him closer either. She wanted clarity. I want honesty, she said. You have it, he replied. And safety. I will give you that, he said. She studied his face, looking for arrogance, for impatience. She found none. Only resolve. The car across the street pulled away. Smooth. Quiet. Emma exhaled, not realizing she had been holding her breath. This is getting real, she said. Dominic met her gaze. It already is. As she went inside, locking her door behind her, Emma understood something she could not undo. The danger was no longer abstract, and the man she had kissed on a dare was standing at the center of a world that had now noticed her name. Emma did not sleep well, not because of fear, because of awareness, the kind that keeps the body alert even when the room is quiet, the kind that listens. Morning came anyway. Light through the curtains, traffic outside, normal life insisting on itself. Her phone buzzed once, then again. Dominic, are you awake? Yes, she typed. There was a pause, longer than usual. Can we talk tonight? Her chest tightened. Not dread. Anticipation. About what? She asked. The truth, he replied. Emma stared at the word. The truth. Had she not already been hearing pieces of it? Gray spaces. Consequences. Watching eyes. Still, something in his tone told her this would be different. Where? She asked. My place. He wrote. If you're willing. She hesitated, then typed. I am. His reply came quickly. Thank you. That word sat with her all day. When she arrived that evening, his building felt quieter than before. Not emptier. Just guarded. Dominic met her at the door himself. No suit. No formality. Inside, the space felt still. Controlled. Safe. He did not touch her at first. He did not rush. They sat across from each other. Distance intentional. You can leave at any point, he said. Emma nodded. I know. He exhaled slowly, like he was grounding himself. You asked for honesty, he said. Yes. This is the part that removes comfort. He continued. Emma held his gaze. I am listening. Dominic folded his hands loosely. Not defensive. Not closed. My work is not only gray, he said. Some of it is dark. Emma felt the words settle. Not shock. Wait. I am not a criminal in the way movies show. He continued. I do not act for chaos. I act for control. Control of what? She asked. Systems. People. Outcomes. Emma swallowed. You hurt people. Dominic did not flinch. Yes. When necessary. And I live with that. The honesty burned. Because it was clean. And the men. The cars. The watching. They work for me, he said. And for what I represent. Emma leaned back slightly. Processing. You are more than a businessman. Yes. More than dangerous. She said. Yes. Silence stretched. Thick. Charged. Emma stood, moving toward the window. Needing space. The city looked the same. Lights. Motion. Life continuing. How big? She asked quietly. Dominic rose, stopping a few steps behind her. Big enough that pretending otherwise would insult your intelligence. Emma closed her eyes briefly. Why tell me now? Because you deserve to choose with full sight. He said. And if I choose to leave, then I let you. He replied. No threats. No bargaining. That hurt more than manipulation would have. Emma turned to face him. Why me? She asked. Dominic met her eyes. Something unguarded breaking through. Because you saw me before you knew me. He said. Because you did not want anything from me. Because you make me want less of what I have and more of what I lost. Emma felt her throat tighten. And what did you lose? Peace. He said. That word hit harder than violence ever could. Emma stepped closer. Not touching. You live in a world built on fear. She said. Yes. And you want something gentle in it. I want something real. He corrected. Silence again. If I stay. Emma said slowly. This changes my life. Yes. And yours. Dominic did not hesitate. It already has. Emma searched his face. For control. For expectation. She found restraint. I will not pull you into my world. He said. I am trying to step out of parts of it. Because of me. Because of what I want to be. He said. Emma felt tears threaten. Not sadness. Clarity. You should be scared of this. She whispered. I am. He said. That surprised her. But I am more afraid of going back to who I was before you noticed me. Emma closed the distance, placing her hand lightly on his chest. You are asking me to trust a dangerous man. She said. No. He replied. I am asking you to trust a man who is choosing restraint. She stayed there, hand steady, heart racing. I am not promising forever. She said. I am not asking for it. He replied. Then what are you asking? Time. Honesty. And the right to prove that the worst thing about me does not get to define the best thing. Emma breathed in slowly. Okay. The word felt heavy. And right. Dominic exhaled. Something in him easing. This was not a victory. It was a beginning. And both of them knew. There was no going back to harmless now. Emma felt the shift before Dominic spoke it. The air in the room changed. Not heavy. Focused. He stood near the window. Phone in his hand. Not looking at it. Thinking. People are asking questions. He said. Emma stayed seated. Watching him. About what? About why I am less available. Why I leave meetings early. Why I stopped responding to certain calls. She swallowed. And what do you tell them? Dominic turned to face her. Nothing yet. That unsettled her more than any explanation. Silence draws attention. Emma said. Yes. He replied. And attention draws pressure. She leaned forward, resting her elbows on her knees. Is this the part where I disappear from your life? So things stay easy? No. Dominic said immediately. The speed of his answer surprised her. This is the part where I decide how public my change becomes. Emma felt her pulse pick up. Public how? He took a breath. Slow. Measured. There are rooms I walk into where nothing is questioned. Because my presence answers everything. Emma nodded slowly. Those rooms will notice when you're named. He continued. Named? She repeated. Yes. Her chest tightened. If I say your name, if I let it be known that you matter to me, there is no pretending later. Emma stood, closing the distance. And if you do not say it, then they will look anyway. He said, and invent something worse. She crossed her arms, thinking, this is not just about honesty. She said, this is about power. Dominic met her gaze. Yes. And if I let you name me, Emma said, I become part of that power. No. He corrected. You become protected by it. That should have felt reassuring. It did not. Emma shook her head. I do not want to be a shield or a symbol. You will not be. He said. Then what am I? Dominic stepped closer, stopping just short of touching. You are the reason I am changing the rules. He said. The weight of that landed hard. Emma breathed out slowly. If you do this, there is no going back. He nodded. I know. She studied him, looking for hesitation. There was none. Only intent. You are willing to risk conflict. She said. Yes. Control. Influence. Your position. Yes. Emma looked away. Toward the window. Toward the city. This was not a romance problem. This was a structural one. If you say my name. She said quietly. I do not want it whispered. Dominic did not interrupt. I do not want it used as leverage. I do not want it explained away. He listened. Fully. I want it said like a fact. Emma finished. Dominic exhaled. That is exactly how I would say it. She turned back to him. And after that, he said, I draw boundaries no one is allowed to cross. She searched his face. Including you. Including me. He replied. That answer grounded her. Emma nodded once. Okay. The word felt deliberate. Heavy. Dominic did not smile. He did not celebrate. He reached for her hand slowly. Waiting. She let him take it. I will say your name tomorrow. He said. Where? In a room that does not forget names. Emma swallowed. And if someone objects, then they will learn what no means sounds like. When I say it. She squeezed his hand. Do not make me the excuse for your war. He met her eyes. You are not an excuse. You are the reason I am ending one. Silence settled. Thick. Final. Emma felt the weight of choice settle into her bones. This was not about being chosen. This was about standing still, while a powerful man restructured his world around the truth of her existence. And once that happened, there would be no version of harmless left. Emma waited. That was the hardest part. Not knowing what was being said. Not knowing who was in the room. Not knowing how much of Dominic was being tested. She went to work, answered emails, smiled at people who did not matter today. But time moved wrong. Slow and sharp. Her phone stayed silent. That silence meant something. She felt it in her body. The way her shoulders stayed tense. The way sound felt louder than usual. When the message finally came. It was simple. It is done. Her breath caught. Done how? She typed. There was a pause. Long enough to feel intentional. I said your name. That sentence landed harder than any declaration of love. Emma sat down. Heart racing. What happened? She asked. Dominic replied. The room went quiet. She could picture it. Men who controlled markets. Roots. Money. Violence. Quiet. Then. Questions. Warnings. Reminders of who I am. Emma swallowed. And you? I did not explain you. He wrote. I stated you. The difference mattered. Emma closed her eyes. Did they accept it? Accept is not the right word. He replied. Then what? They understood. That scared her. What did they understand? That I am not asking. Dominic wrote. Her chest tightened. Minutes passed. Then another message arrived. Emma, there's something you need to know. She straightened. What? Dominic took longer this time. I am not just part of what you imagine. He wrote. I am at the center of it. Emma felt the weight settle. How center? She asked. Control of 3 cities. He replied. Networks that do not appear on paper. People who move when I decide. The scale of it stole her breath. This was not a dangerous man. This was a system. Built around him. You could have hidden that. Emma typed. Yes. Why didn't you? Because if you stayed without knowing, I would be lying to you. Tears stung her eyes. And because. He continued. I needed to know if you would still choose me. Once you understood the size of what I was stepping away from. Stepping away from. She repeated. Yes. He replied. Emma, I am dismantling parts of it. That sentence changed everything. Dismantling. She whispered to herself. Why? Because power without purpose rots. Dominic wrote. And because you reminded me that control does not have to mean isolation. Emma pressed her hand to her chest. People will resist. She said. They already are. What happens if they push? Then they lose access to me. He replied. And if that isn't enough? Dominic paused. Then they learn that restraint is a choice. Not a weakness. Emma shivered. You are doing this because of one kiss. No. He wrote. Because of what followed. She smiled through the tension. Are you safe? Yes. He replied. And so are you. How can you be sure? Because I made it clear. Your name is not a lever. It is a boundary. Her throat tightened. I need to see you. She typed. I am on my way. Dominic replied. When he arrived, he did not look victorious. He looked lighter. Like something heavy had been set down. He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. Emma studied his face. This is bigger than I thought. She said. Yes. You could have ruled forever. He nodded. And I would have stayed alone. She stepped closer. And now? Nah. He said. I am building something quieter. She searched his eyes. Do you regret saying my name? Never. He replied. In that moment, Emma understood the truth. The shocking part was not that he was a mafia boss. It was that the most powerful thing in his world was no longer fear. It was choice. And he had chosen her. The city did not chain. The streets moved. The lights blinked. People hurried past one another, unaware that something had shifted beneath their feet. Emma felt it anyway. It lived in the quiet moments, in the way Dominic's presence no longer felt like an interruption, but like alignment. Days passed. Then weeks. No dramatic fallout. No sudden collapse. Just deliberate chain. Dominic stopped disappearing. He stopped taking calls at midnight. Stopped leaving rooms tense and guarded. Instead, he came home. Emma noticed it first in the mornings. The way he made coffee without checking his phone. The way he listened when she spoke. Fully. As if nothing else competed for his attention. This was not softness. It was intention. One evening, as they stood by the window, watching the city settle into night, Emma broke the silence. "Do you miss it?" she asked. Dominic did not ask what she meant. "Sometimes," he said. "Control. Power. The certainty of being feared." Emma nodded. "And now?" "Nah," he continued. "I am respected. And that feels different." "Better?" she asked. He looked at her, eyes steady. "Harder, but cleaner." She accepted that. Love did not erase his past. It gave him a future with direction. The people around him adapted. Some quietly, some reluctantly, some left. He let them. Emma saw the cost, saw the restraint it took. To walk away instead of dominate. That was the real power. Months later, on a night that felt ordinary, Dominic came home early. He did not announce anything, did not prepare a speech. He sat beside her on the couch. Close. Familiar. "Emma," he said. She looked at him. "You once changed my life with a kiss." Without knowing who I was. She smiled faintly. "And you changed mine by not lying about who you were." He took her hand. "I am not asking for perfection," he said. "I am asking for partnership." She squeezed his fingers. "You already have it." He reached into his pocket. Slow. No performance. The box was simple. Emma laughed softly. Because of course it was. Dominic did not kneel. He did not need to. He met her eyes. "Will you keep choosing me? Even when the world remembers who I used to be?" Emma did not hesitate. "Yes," she said at once. Then again. "Yes." When he slid the ring onto her finger, nothing exploded. No applause. No witnesses. Just certainty. Later, as they stood together, watching the city lights, Emma rested her head against his chest. "Do you ever think about that night?" she asked. Dominic smiled. "Small. Real. Every day. One dare," she said. "One decision." He replied. And the world never saw it coming. Emma knew then. Love did not pull Dominic Russo into darkness. It gave him somewhere to stand in the light, without needing to be feared. And that, more than power, was the truest ending to their story.